I want to open up my own business. I like the idea of being an entrepreneur. I want to open up my own business. And one of the ideas that I have is a combination law firm and coffee shop called Grounds for Divorce. Great. I told that joke to my brother. I don't see my brother very often, and I try and catch him up in my life because he's really supportive of this, and I told him that joke. And he said, that's probably the worst idea of a business name you could come up with. And I said, no, it's not. And this is an awful joke, but we're going to see if we can get through this. I want to open up my own business that's a combination, well, it's not a combination, it's a musical-themed, Billy Joel-themed abortion clinic called Only the Good Die Young. That was a gamble. Ladies and gentlemen, let me explain why I took a gamble on this. This next comedian about to perform, I've never seen him before. I don't know much about him. He just walked in and was like, can I do like a comedy show? And I was like, sure, is it okay if you go on after a weird abortion joke? He's like, that's my jam. Everybody please give a warm round of applause to Mr. Jeremy Leveille.
Not the intro I was expecting, but I'll work with it. I'll admit, you'll have to bear with me. I'm a little nervous. It's my first time wearing women's panties underneath my jeans. And no, it's not laundry day. Surprisingly comfortable though, you know? I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I can do this. Who here's been to Market Square? Heard of Market Square? Anyone? Yeah. I sure hope so. I thought that might get some type of reaction, given where we are. Market Square Day this past summer, I thought what might be fun is doing some people watching. And, you know, obviously Market Square Day is a shitload of tourists that come around. And, you know, I figured I'd just kind of like check out all the freak shows with weird hats and weird clothes. And I'm just like sitting there on one of the benches outside Breaking New Grounds, minding my own business, chillaxing. And this couple, they come up to me and ask me to take their picture. So I take their picture, NBD, no big deal for the older people here. And they give me $20 just for taking their picture. And I'm like, oh shit, wow, that's pretty generous, you know? So I take it, and this other couple coming up, more tourists, all they saw was the end of that transaction. All they saw was me take a picture, and they gave me $20. So this couple, they look at me, and they said, "Are you a professional photographer?" And at first I was thrown off. I wasn't sure how to react. But then I was like, "Oh, I'll play along with it." So I look at them, and I'm like, "Why, yes. Yes, I am." And they look at me, and they're like, "Wow, cool. What's your name?" And I was looking at him, and I'm like, I go by one name, and I just think, what's the coolest name I can think of? And I say, Andre. And then so I take their picture, and I try to play it up, you know, like I'm all like, oh, why don't you stand over here? The lighting's better, and do this pose, you know, and I do this angle with it to try to play it up. Take their picture. They give me $40. I was like, shit, not bad. Next thing I know, all these other tourists are seeing this happen. Next thing I know, I'm surrounded by all these tourists on Market Square Day. All these people willing to give me money just for taking their picture. I'm like, what the fuck? Some people give me $3, some people give me $10. I made, in the span of a half an hour, $136. Hashtag shameless. So later that day, though, it wasn't all good that day. I lost my cell phone that day. And so I had to do the daunting task of recovering all the lost contacts and phone numbers, which is obviously a pain in the ass. Trying to figure out, get all the numbers back in your phone. And so I was just now able to get them all back, except for a few that I'm still missing. And if I recall correctly, the ones that I'm still missing are Kate Red Door, Courtney Red Door, Andrea Red Door, 38-year-old Chick Red Door, Black Chick Red Door, Kate Red Door number 2, Sarah Thirsty Moose, Jess Fat Bellies, Kelsey Fat Bellies, Nate D Street Tavern, Ashley from the Beach, Kelly Gaslight, Heather Gaslight, Other Chick Portland, and Last Call Girl Portland. So I'm trying to get those back. Went on a date with Heather Gaslight recently. And on our first date, yes, I guess it's encouraging that there's still women out there who have standards so low that they'll go out with me. So that's very encouraging. And on our first date, I go to pick her up. First thing out of her mouth is, "If you plan on making me choose between you and my dog, you better think again." I'm like, what the fuck? Good way to start the date. Then she actually takes her dog with her on the date. This big fucking dog just like plows himself in my backseat. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, and my car still smells like dog shit from it. And we have to take the dog for a walk down Market Square, and we actually run into her ex, which obviously was awkward on a first date, running into the girl's ex. And it was even more awkward because this dude is old as shit. I was like, how fucking old is this guy? He looks like a cross between Patrick Duffy and Gary Busey. I'm like, Jesus Christ. And then we talked to the guy, and then as we walked away after we were done talking to him, Heather Gaslight goes on to tell me, she goes on to tell me that she was in love with the guy. I'm like, oh really? What happened? She said, well, Andre, maybe choose between him or my dog. And I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. What the fuck do I find these women? And so the date ended with one of those awkward moments where I went in for the kiss, she went in for the hug, and all I got was a mouthful of hair. But I'm going to chalk it up as a win on the grounds that 24 hours later, and she still hasn't unfriended or blocked me on Facebook yet. So, that's a win to me. However, I just now found out the elephant in the room. I just found out what her age is. She's 49 years old. I had no idea. And so now I need to do two things. I need to, one, change her contact name in my phone from Heather Gaslight to Older Chick Gaslight. And two, I need to break up with her. However, I need to wait until after tomorrow night to break up with her because she offered to cook me dinner tomorrow night and I have no food left in my fridge.